Hey everyone, Mark here again. Hey, I hope everyone's doing well. I had a couple of you guys ask me for a little more information on how my track is wired. So I thought I would do a video, try and give a little more detail on how I ended up wiring up my track once I decided to get rid of the stock terminal tracks. So I ended up buying off of eBay these power tap tracks by a company called Viasu. They're the same company that makes the my light bridge setup and the race coordinator, the timing system that I have on my track. Now they are asking 4250 for one track. So if you had a 4 lane track, you would need two of them. Now I did use the make and offer option, and I actually offered $35 for each, so I ended up paying 70 for two. Um, but if you have a soldering iron and you're handy with soldering, it's probably not that hard to make your own power tap tracks. But they do it for you. They provide the terminal block. The wires have the terminals on the end. Um, then they go ahead and they hot glue each connection, so it's got a good strong connection. And they actually provide the wiring diagram that I ended up using. So this is a basic diagram of 1 lane basically wired for braking. So you have your positive from the supply coming in through your fuse or your circuit breaker, going through the controller. The red wire is the brake from your controller, going back to the negative of the supply and also the track. And then the other side of the track comes back to your controller. So basically, you have the power coming in, going through your controller, coming back out, going through your car, and back out to the negative. And if you use braking, you can apply brakes across the red and black wire. But I ended up using this diagram that they provided on wiring up my 4 lanes. So I thought I would show you real quick how this looks under my track. So I basically um, I cut some of the um, tie wraps off, so it looks a little messy. But I did that so we can kind of see where the wires are going. Sorry, I was just trying to get that white wire out of the way there. So basically, I have my supply here. This is a Longwy. I bought this off of Amazon as well. I think it was in like the $50 to $60 range. It's a 30-volt variable 10 amp supply, decent little supply. Um, so I have the positive and negative wire coming up and going to my main bus here. I bought these terminal blocks. They actually came with the bus bars. Got those off of Amazon as well. So this is my positive bus and this is my negative. So you got the 4 positives and the 4 negatives. And that corresponds to basically this terminal block right here. And then these 4 blocks here that go to your controller, I have another one over there, one right there, and the other one there. And then this terminal for your track is basically this terminal here. So if we try to follow for this lane, which is my white lane, so you're coming off of the positive bus going to my breaker or your fuse, going to the controller, and then you have the negative. So this is the negative wire coming back over and going here. So basically, you have the negative wire coming in. It's jumpered. So I have actually I don't know if you can see that. There's a little bus jumper behind there. Jump ring those two. And then they basically go over to the track. And the track wires are coming out through the hole in the board, and that's it. It's really fairly simple if you just basically follow that diagram, and then just basically repeat that same step for each one of your lanes. So you have the 4 positives and the 4 negatives going to each controller. And if you want to add more than one power tap, you would basically just wire them into the same spots as your first 2 so that the controller can control the power going to those taps as well. Like on my track, I kind of wish I had a second power tap on this side, because I can feel a slight slowdown, especially if I'm driving the cars slower. When they get around to that far side of the track, there's a tiny bit of a slowdown. You don't notice it when you're racing normal speed, so it's really not that much of a big deal. And any bigger of a track, and you probably definitely want to have more than one power tap, depending on how big your track is. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing super fancy. I ended up using Velcro to hold all of my terminal blocks. You can screw them in if you want. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just do the same thing for all 4 lanes, and basically follow that diagram, and that should do it for you. All right, guys, that's it. That's the power setup on my track. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. I'll be more than happy to try and answer them for you. As always, I appreciate you guys checking out the video. I appreciate your support. So thanks, guys.